Officer, I have a legal question. Can you help me? Officer, what is the law that means I can't come in the park right now? What law is it? How do we vote it down?
They've closed the park for cleaning. The park's closed. The City of Toronto has closed the park.
And did they give an official reason when they closed the park?
I just told you. What did I just
Well,
say?
clean, okay. Fair enough, but obviously it's a euphemism, right? Is it a euphemism or not?
You asked me the reason.
But it's not like it's not
the reason.
it's not honest though. It's not an honest answer. If that's the answer the government gave, they're not being honest with us.
The park doesn't need cleaned up.
Not of the people. No. People aren't garbage to clean up.
Are people allowed to sleep in a public park?
Morally?
I didn't ask you that.
Why not?
Lawfully.
Is lawfully more important than morally?
Lawfully. Are they allowed to sleep in a park or erect tents? Lawfully.
So you think lawfully is more important than
There you
morally?
go. What's the point of having laws?
What's the point of having morals?
Well, then change the laws.
Do you ever talk to your counselor about this?
Go ahead, talk to your counselor.
But do you talk to we need the cops to talk to their counselors.
You asked me a question, I gave you an answer.
That's fair. Except it wasn't an honest answer. It was a euphemism, Orwellian language. Because this isn't cleaning up the park. We're evicting humans. It's not a human rights-based approach. By the way, this council did vote on a human rights approach. This is not that. They also voted on a zero encampments approach, which is inconsistent with the human rights approach. So unfortunately, the laws are contradicting themselves right now. So what happens then? This is why in philosophy of law, paraconsistent logic is relevant, because the law is not consistent with itself. So you can't just follow the law. Sometimes the law is contradictory. And we did vote for a human rights approach. That is the law. So how is this a human rights approach? It's not. That's true morally and legally. You really need to talk to your union. What were you guys hired to do? You're hired to evict people? Helping out? Guys, do you know who your city councilor is?
Kristen Wongtong, I think? I'm not too sure. I live in Ajax, so I'm not too sure.
You should ask them what they think about this.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, you should. So yeah, people learn morality in childhood often from their mothers, who teach them how to feel about things. Oh, he's laughing now. He's not feeling violent. That's good. Maybe he did learn something from his mother.
Well, I know, yeah, but I'm more still boy. But I'm just saying, like, I started with newspapers, and I worked on McDonald's, and I worked on Baskin Robbins, yeah. Maybe I put like
And now he works evicting people.
I mean, I would talk to guys and
You should go back to Baskin Robbins. Be helping children have a good time. Does Baskin Robbins pay worse than this job? Do you guys know? How much does Baskin Robbins pay? Like $15 max? If you've been there for 5 years? I guess what? You guys make 20? Star security? Is that what you make? 10. What do you make? 10. Less than 10? Wow. And yet they spent $23 million on the contract with Star Security. A Camet Support Network on their link tree. The figure is there. Well, I asked the city for the number and they won't give me the real number.
Fabricate other numbers.
The city might fabricate other numbers.
You're fabricating.
No, I'm citing what I read in a document published by an activist organization.
Shouldn't believe everything you read.
I don't. As I said, though, it's the only number. That's why I fully had the city for the actual numbers. And I bet it's a bigger number. 20, they must have got the number. I don't think they just made up the number. I mean, the FOIA requests take a month. Their document's already out. So I'll see if the city gives me a different number in a month, but this is happening now. And it says that they spent.
Talk to me in a month and we can have that discussion.
Really? You gonna give me your email? We can get up and chat.
Well, you give me yours and I'll call you.
You first. Yeah, didn't think so. $23 million is the figure they cited for Star Security alone. That's not the cost of cops, cop horses. That's not the cost of helicopters. It's not the cost of planning. It's not the cost of the expensive hotels that are only temporary accommodations. You guys should know who your councillors are. You should know who your MP is. You should know who your MPP is, and you should be screaming bloody murder about all of this. You guys have probably never called your councillor. You've never written the government of anything. You just follow orders. But what about the part where you question them? Because you can say, oh, I'm not supposed to question them while I'm on the job. But what about at the end of your shift? Huh?
Where do you live?
Not far from here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In the house? Market?
I live in a house. I know people who've lived in this encampment. And I know there are people trying to make a difference. In some cases, I know one of them has her late friend's child to worry about, but she's got to worry about being evicted from encampments and shit.
She's put up with much better.
It's not working out that way for everyone, unfortunately. I know I know from Bellwoods that that's what they told Star Security. They told them, "Don't worry, we're helping everybody. You're fine. You're doing a good thing." That's what they told the staff. It's not true.
You need to educate yourself.
I've been reading about this for weeks now. More than you have, I guarantee you. Really, how many articles have you read? 5? 3?
We live it. We're helping them out. We see
Yeah,
it every day.
I'm out in this neighborhood every day too.
You see-
And I read the paper.
You see the shelters they're putting them up, the hotels, the free meals, the money, their medication. You see all that?
They wouldn't need to use force if it were that good of a deal. They wouldn't. They don't need to send in cops with guns to do any of this.
Guns. Has anyone pull a gun?
Then pull one. They always have them.
You're kind of part of the uniform.
I know, which is why you shouldn't send cops in at all. This is defund the police, man. Defund. They shouldn't be spending the money.
Defund. You say defund, but when you need them, you want them, right?
Well, I agree with the sign that they just put up for the Council of this Ward that says defund them by 50%. Defund the police by 50%. This will be the first on the chopping block. Well, what percent would you defund them by?
I wouldn't.
Not even 5%? Well, but there must be some crimes you think they shouldn't spend money enforcing.
Money.
We should fund them differently, so they shouldn't spend money enforcing shit like this. They spend more money on other shit.
It's a city.
Yeah, they're paying cops. They shouldn't send in cops to a non-violent situation.
To get in the property, and then they're like, it's a big open field. Like, guy with a minivan, they're trying to run.
Yeah, the homeless people here are not violent.
Catch them, they're like,
They're not, eh?
Not as a collective, no.
They're not, eh?
Some individual. I mean, I see the people
How do you
in the park over there. They just fight with each other. They don't bother me.
Which individual is
Sorry?
How do you pick out which individual is dangerous? How do you?
Based on it. Okay, what? Suppose they weren't homeless. Suppose they live in houses. How do you do it?
Same thing, bro.
Right. So you don't evict them because one person on the street's violent, right? Right. See, your analogy falls apart. You can see it now. Yeah, it does. It falls apart completely. You don't do pre-crime. You don't do guilt by class or guilt by association. You just don't.
Want a juice?
Thank you, sir.
Courtesy of the city.
Courtesy of the city. This might be a good use of tax dollars. Because honestly, a healthy democracy needs people to talk about this shit. My name's Adam. What's your name?
Adam.
Your name's also Adam? Small world, right?
It is.
Well, how Christian is this? I mean, I'm an atheist, but I believe in certain morality. It's not what a church would do.
If we were just kicking them out of here and leaving them fend on their own, this and that, you might have a point. But we're not doing that.
Not to every last person, no.
Everyone we give it the option to. If they don't want it, then we can't force them to.
They might have a good reason.
What reason might that be?
Safety in shelters, for instance, from COVID.
What do you mean? They have their own rooms.
And what's the ventilation? How's the HVAC work? That's how COVID spread inside. These encampments were better for COVID than congregate settings. It's the science.
You got your shot?
Yeah.
You got both shots?
No, it's better if you wait. You get more immunity.
You wait for how long?
4
How long are you
weeks.
gonna wait?
Actually, they just gave me a text telling me to hurry up. They're moving me ahead. But I had one scheduled. My second dose was scheduled.
Items are bonding. I'll let you be.
Learn who your counselor is, man. I'm going to try to get through to somebody else, but I appreciate if you really think about what I've said, guys, and talk about it amongst yourselves, especially when you're not at work, because you've got to do something to change the rules when you're not being paid to follow them.
Have a good day. Be safe out there.
It's very ironic. Do you know who your city councilor is? Why not? Just following orders? See, if you knew who your counselor was, you could complain about the orders. You could influence the vote. Yeah, you don't seem proud of what you're doing. Buddy, do you know who your counselor is? City councilor? Sad. You should all know. You should all be on the phone to them. This is not a human rights approach. It's what we voted for. Hey, do you know who your city councilor is? No? You don't. You should tell your counselor what you think of this. You should look him up. Do you know who your city councilor is? You don't. Wow. 0 people with these yellow shirts know who their counselor is. What does that tell you? It tells you the system is broken. There's not even a way through over here? Well, this is a safety problem. Do you know who your city councilor is? No? Uncomfortable question? Shouldn't be. Officer, do you know who your city councilor is? Of course. Where are you from? York region. Are they doing this up there? Yeah. Are they evicting encampments in York region? Well, you should discuss it with your counselor, because they probably have the same policies up there. I do.
Keep it. Let my daughter keep it. Yeah, it's nice and clean out there. It is. Notice how clean it was. Yeah.
Shame! This is disgusting. Hey, do any of you know who your city councilor is? Anyone? Literally anyone. 0 of you. I've
My
asked
city council?
your city councilor.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
it's
he
just
knows.
Me.
You guys should talk to him. He's the only one among you guys who even knows who the city councilor is.
Well, what?
That's okay, I just hid this. But literally, I've asked many of you guys many days. You're the only one who's ever known. Talk to him.
We already went to one. No. I'm not saying to you. I'm not saying to you. I'm saying like that happened. Because it's like no one showed up. How we gonna find it?
You haven't quit yet, guys. Talk to your counselor. Do you even know who it is? Excuse me, do you know who your city councilor is?
City Council?
Yeah, do you know who your city councilor is?
I don't know.
Sorry?
Do you know who your city councilor is?
There's a representative access on the other side.
There's a representative?
Yeah, you can just go through the.
Oh, that's interesting. They weren't here at Bellwoods.
You call now 311. We'll give you more.
Yeah, that's what they said at Bellwoods. No, they don't have a lot of information there, actually.
Oh, really? But there's somebody at the other side. The access there, they'll be able to assist.
For instance, 301 still won't tell me how much the government's spending on all of this.
Oh.
They're spending a lot more than it would cost to house people not by force, as far as I can tell. I heard that ESN said the Star Security contract was $23 million.
We don't know
Whoa,
that.
right?
We are just workers. And the only instruction is that if anybody comes here, you direct them to 311 or to
Well,
the access.
you guys are following orders. When you're done your shift, you should contact your counselor and talk to them about changing the rules.
I really
Look up who your city councilor
Yes,
is.
you see one of 311 vehicle. Just look at.
Yeah, that's not how we change the rules, though. We change the rules by talking to our counselors, and they vote. They voted on a human rights approach.
Nice lady. She couldn't trespass. She's not coming back up. Right? Yeah, she's not allowed.
How are you doing?
All right, yourself?
Not too bad.
Yeah, no. Thanks, guys.
Need any help?